Darshan Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jayang Vishnupad Paramas Privraj Gacharya Astautar Satsi Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnavamrita ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि से गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिर गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि से वृंदावन धाम की श्री मायपुर चंद्र धाम की श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जगन्नाथ स्वामी की गंगामय जमुनामय की तुलसीदेवी भक्ति देवी की श्यामवत भक्तवृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. And all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nasta prayesu abhadresu Nityam bhagavat sevaya Bhagavati uttamasloke Bhaktir bhavati naistike. So this morning we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam instead. Today is Ekadasi. We are reading from Srila Prabhupada's Lilamrita, or else we can say written by His Holiness Giriraj Maharaja, I will build you a temple. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakya Chakshurulmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Thapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamaya Dadati Sa Padantikam. Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nibhisesa Sunyavadi Pasyati Desitarane. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. I was thinking more devotees will come. That's why I wanted to extend a little bit, but I see it is after 8:15, so therefore we'll continue. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, it says this Bhagavatam is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of the Supreme Lord, and it will dissipate the darkness of ignorance, lead us the light in this dense dark age of Kali. So while I was reading a little bit, so I was thinking, this Lilamrita is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and it will dissipate the darkness of ignorance, it will also lead the light kindly in this dense dark age of Kali. Because quite often I heard from the devotees that the Lilamrita is non-different from Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, when I was the core part of this Lilamrita work with Srila Satru Maharaj. There are so many devotees who are working, helping, but there are core group. I think last time I mentioned that it is the biography main staffs were called biography gems, because we are hounding after people, going different places and interviewing, collecting materials. What Srila Prabhupada, even I went to Surat, I saw there was one place, Prabhupada went to a factory. He makes, I think it is spear hut. He makes the water geyser, which is in the bathroom. Just you put the light on, and it'll you give the electricity connection on, then it will heat up the light and water, and then you can take warm bath. So when I went over there, just because now we had guidelines where to go, what to do, what not to do. So I saw, so the owner of that factory, Gujarati guy, very humble, and he came forward and he said, Swamiji, please come. So I went with a couple devotees, just because there are sometimes workload, just it's so much materials to carry. In fact, I carried around the world with Srila Satru Maharaj, one bag here, one bag here, one bag here, one bag here, traveling just, it's insurmountable work. So however, coming to the point, that the owner, he brought the old register and he showed me Srila Prabhupada has signed before entering his name, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, and then on the register, and then after that he put the date also, and he put the time also, Srila Prabhupada, and then he went into the factory. So to preach to I was really shocked that Srila Prabhupada came to Surat and he put his name on the regular register. So likewise, we got so many, so many places, so many pictures, pandal programs, this, that, and also so many books Srila Prabhupada has signed on the book. And recently, I was in US, in Florida. There was one devotee he came to know, and he came to know that I was involved in this Prabhupada Lilamrita. Then he brought a letter. He's from Trinidad. It's West Indies. You people know more West Indies than Trinidad. So he brought a letter Srila Prabhupada wrote, because Prabhupada was thinking to go to first West Indies before even America. So he brought a letter and he showed me, just Prabhupada has appreciated their family, because their family wanted to help when Srila Prabhupada would go to West Indies. And Prabhupada wrote a nice letter, thank you for your offer me to come to spread Krishna consciousness in West Indies, etc., etc. I think his name is, if I'm not mistaken, just Hari. They write Hari, instead of H-A-R-I, they write H-A-R-R-Y. Hari Jagannath, something like that. So there are many places we traveled, we collected many different materials. Um, so while I was in Gitanagari, Port Royal, Pennsylvania, our day and night was same. In other words, we are barely able to sleep. Therefore, with two devotees, there are 4 or 5 devotees who are staying with him in the ashram. The different devotees have different services. My service was to assist Satsuru Maharaj as a personal servant. At the same time, I was part of Lilamrita. So, Satsuru Maharaj was in the middle of the night. He was always thinking about Srila Prabhupada. And middle of the night, just he used to get up, and then, if there was always in his table pad and pencil or pen. But when it was not there, so he came, just he wake me up middle of the night. And he sat right there and he started writing something just about, he was always observed thinking about Srila Prabhupada. So the thing is that just while I was there, the service continued on and on and on. It has no end to it. Therefore, we became so engaged in specific 2 devotees, myself and one of my another god brother, were engaged so much, and we didn't have time even to chant 16 rounds. So this message was gone to Satsuru Maharaj, because there tons of materials were there. It was preserved, and very specific thing to pull out from that. Satsuru Maharaj gave instruction and guidelines, and to pull out the material for writing Prabhupada's Lilamrita. I want exactly this, exactly this, exactly this. And we are going on and on. And then when the message came to Satsuru Maharaj that we are not able to chant 16 rounds, and he clearly mentioned that these 2 devotees, if they don't chant 16 rounds, I don't mind the way they have engaged in Srila Prabhupada's service. So imagine just how much work. Then when the work was going on simultaneously, when the Lilamrita was printed, and before even BBT sends around the world, he was spending from his own pocket money, publishing as well as dispatching around the world. So one afternoon, Satsuru Maharaj called me to his room, and he said, I want you to go to the moment he said, I want you to go to, immediately I was mental that my service is finished here. He said, no. You are not off the hook. I'm sending you somewhere in the mission of Lilamrita. So he said, I want you to go to Washington, D.C., start collecting money so that we can dispatch Prabhupada's Lilamrita around the world. There's big list, India, America, all over the world, all centers, wherever there were centers. And he said, I want you to go and collect the Lakshmi. So you know what? Prabhu's, my leg was up in the air. Wherever I went, I didn't want to leave that place on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. I didn't leave even quarter dime, nickel. I said, without taking any Lakshmi, just I'm not going to go from any place. I was so fired up, young, so fired up. And then I had to do that service, and he was very much pleased also, because books were dispatched. And when we started going different places around the world, European countries, Australia, here and there, many devotees went to different sections. The doors and windows, everything was open. Oh, you are doing the Lilamrita work. welcome, welcome. So it was going on. So like this Lila method took so much time, so much energy, so much money spent, so much traveling, you won't believe. Just so after, as soon as it was coming out, and we are dispatching these books to around the world. Srila Prabhupada, I want to say something about Srila Prabhupada's activities, how he set the example. Srila Prabhupada is the spiritual ambassador who descended to this material world to convey the transcendental message. Generally, when the ambassador comes from one country to another, they have so many types of exchanges. There is a cultural exchange, economical exchange, industrial or countries exchanges, etc. Different exchanges were there. So Srila Prabhupada, being the spiritual ambassador, he came from spiritual world to convey this message, the transcendental message he gave, which is Golokera, Premadhana, Harinama Sankirtan. He brought that priceless gem and he gave it to us, and for which the whole world is benefited. And what is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He set this best example, being a spiritualist, to the rest part of the world, to the entire world, as a spiritualist. That there is a spiritual life one can lead, and ultimately, leading the spiritual life, one can become eligible to go home back to Godhead. Shri Shri Radha Raswari Ji Lalita Visakha Devi ki jai. Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki jai. Shri Shri Gaunitai ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. So, he came and set the example. He showed us how to sit, how to eat, how to sleep, and what to do, what not to do in terms of spiritual life. In fact, Srila Prabhupada taught, when the Western devotees sat and Prabhupada was taking prasadam, Western devotees were taking prasadam, which item to take first and how to take that item, just out of so because Western people, what they do, they take the knife and fork and they try to eat, but Prabhupada ate. And in fact, he said, just when 5 spoons are there, why should I need the 6th one, he said. So he started eating, and then he taught his devotees how to eat, what to eat. He is the founder Acharya of the ISKCON society. He is the fountain head of the entire ISKCON world. And he is also, as the GBC formed, that just first thing is Srila Prabhupada is the fountain head of ISKCON society, and uncompromisingly it should be, his glory should be first. Jayang Vishnupad Paramahansa, instead of going before Prabhupada, if we come just for other gurus or other things, no. First, Srila Prabhupada's glorification was there. He, following the footsteps of his spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, he uncompromisingly wrote about 100 books, about 100, approximately 100 books, and he never compromised in the Siddhanta. Srila Prabhupada never compromised in the Siddhanta. And when he went to the Western world, therefore, he was so stubborn, and he mentioned that I came here to give something. I am a giver, not a beggar. I am not a beggar. Generally, people in general, when they see in saffron cloth, what they think, they think that here is a sadhu has come to beg, and they expect that just something we have to give. But Srila Prabhupada said, I am not a beggar, I am a giver. I came here to give something priceless gem. In fact, there was one Prabhupada's disciple, he produced this, you see this strap? And on top of this strap it is mentioned, not a beggar but a giver. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. He spread Krishna consciousness 14 times, traveled all over the globe, and made 10,000 followers, 10,000 disciples, approximately. 10,000 disciples. It's not that easy. Krishna Sakti Bina Nahitar Pravartan. Without mercy of the Lord, even a blade of grass doesn't move. Therefore, his senior brother, Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he mentioned he must be empowered. He must be empowered. That's why Srila Satsuru Maharaj has written his Saktiaves. His Saktiaves. I think I mentioned just now, devotees questioned, they directly didn't go to Satsuru Maharaj. So since I was involved in Lilamrita, they asked me, why is this, why is that, why he is Saktiaves. So I said, if you think that, then you please go and ask Sridhar Maharaj, who is his senior god brother, and who has been devotees, whose sannyas is, who has taken sannyas since past 60 years. Please go at that time. Please go and talk to them. Talk to him. Srila Prabhupada, to spread Krishna consciousness, not only he ordered that distribute books. If you want to make me happy, or if you please me, just distribute books. Repeatedly he mentioned, because all over the world, when people will read, they will be benefited out of it. So therefore, not only he sent his English written books, but also he sent instruction to many parts of the world to translate into respective languages. So Srila Prabhupada's books are translated into various languages, such as from English to Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, Punjabi, Urdu, and so does the foreign language such as Spanish, Italian, Germany, and many languages. It is all translated, and it has been going on distribution. Book distribution has been going on. I think so far they have distributed a few billion. I saw 1.9 billion just when I was there for a few years ago. Now it must be few billion copies. It has been translated. He is a great thinker. The philosophers the scientists, the they are great thinkers. Srila Prabhupada, from spiritual perspective, he's a great thinker, because he was thinking how to benefit the mankind spiritually, how they can be uplifted. He was completely absorbed. His compassion has no compare. Compassion is such a thing that if we do not have compassion, we cannot be considered as a devotee. Because being a devotee, devotees are just like desired trees, and they can fulfill the desire of others. So if devotees are not compassionate, then being devoted is meaningless. So please try to be compassionate to your friends, those who are in need of help. And in fact, we are not interested to help materially, because we are sadhus, and we always try to help spiritually. And spiritual help is the real or actual help. Now I just want to make a few points. Unrelenting social reformer. Srila Prabhupada is unstopped. There was no end to his transcendental activities. So therefore, spiritually, wherever he went and he tried to engage others, and he tried to brought them as close as it is possible. We know, I'm just going to read a little bit from Giriraj Maharaj, that he has written, I will build you a temple. How he has expressed that as I think I mentioned last time in my lecture in the Lilamrita, that he mentioned that your spiritual master has not mentioned, Satsuru Maharaj has not mentioned that so vividly about Bombay Yatra, so I want to write something. So Giriraj Swami wrote, Satsuru Maharaj wrote, planting the seed. So Giriraj Swami wrote, watering the seed. So like this, he has mentioned in watering the seed so many things about Mumbai Yatra. So does he has mentioned so many things. In fact, Radhanath Swami has mentioned that that it was only Giriraj Maharaj who knew about Mumbai Yatra so closely, Srila Prabhupada's activities. So therefore, just he has written about this Bombay Yatra, and which has come out like a giant book. And I never thought that just he's going to write, I will build what he's going to write. Prabhupada was empowered representative of Lord Krishna. As we mentioned, just he's empowered. Empowered means Satyavesa actually. Really, literary meaning of empowered is Satyavesa. So Prabhupada was empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna himself. So impossible activities he made it possible. Because in America, they mentioned there was no person in this world who has come to tell us what to do, but only one person told us what to do, and that is Srila Prabhupada. He told us how to put on dhoti and kurta and tilak, how to sit and how to eat, how to behave, all these things. So, Srila Prabhupada was empowered to do so. Foremost thinker, I think I made that point. Uncompromising transmitter of timeless, absolute knowledge. So, he has written, as I mentioned, 100 books, it includes Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, and many more. It is timeless. It is timeless, absolute knowledge, because it is directly coming from, not only it is translated, but it is coming directly from the Supreme Lord. In fact, I can give you one little anecdote. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to Triveni Sangam, and it is mentioned in teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So he went, and Rupa Goswami and his brother Anupam and few others, they came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke continuously. He spoke for a while, and he mentioned, "My dear Rupa, I am giving you this book which is called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and it is just out of vast ocean, it is a drop only. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu is one drop of transcendental knowledge, which is from the vast ocean. We can imagine how much transcendental knowledge that Vedas, Itihasas, Puranas, all these. And in fact, just Krishna's name is, countless Krishna's names are there. Even in Vedas and Puranas, in Itihasas, Upanishads, everywhere, whatever number of names are there, they are also negligible names. But countless names. But countless names are there of Krishna, which it's impossible to count. So, most compassionate and humble saint. The compassion of the saintly person is that he sees others as like a glowworm, minute spark. He doesn't see this is male and female, animal, man, this, that. He sees as spirit soul. So the living entities, millions of jivas in this world, of 8,400,000 species of lives, they all are suffering within this material world. So the compassionate person, like pure devotee, so they try to rescue the lives of the compassionate souls from wrath of Maya. So Srila Prabhupada was always thinking that, with his compassion, he tried his best to rescue the lives of the conditioned souls, as many as it is possible, because he has mentioned very nicely that we are not responsible to rescue all the entire world, because Krishna says, I am the ability in the man. He has given only certain abilities. In fact, if we see from distance, the aeroplane is flying, and after certain time from our eyesight, it is gone far off and we cannot see anymore because our senses are limited, our vision is limited, our body's energy is limited, everything is limited. So therefore, within this life, as many conditioned souls as we can bring to the lotus feet of the Lord, it is best and it is nice, and that's what Srila Prabhupada wanted. He tried his best to rescue as many conditioned souls as it is possible, and therefore he said, just we are not responsible for everybody. As much as we can rescue or help the conditioned souls as it is possible, and he did that. And also it was predicted, and he wanted to establish the centers. He said, we do not need big centers, but for facility, these facilities for public people. That's why we build the temples. Otherwise, we personally do not need. We can sit under the tree and we can chant Hare Krishna. But he has, according to his prediction, he established 108 centers around the world. And it was a big struggle, especially one of the most gorgeous temple in the world is Hare Krishna land, Juhu. He promised and he kept his promise. And then the devotees, when Srila Prabhupada came to see his this place, it was a swampy land. The the frogs, the snakes, the swampy land, the weeds, and it was watery, and he said this place. But the Western devotees, they mentioned, Prabhupada, what are we going to do with this swampy land? There are rattlesnakes and frogs and this and that, all kinds of animals are there. What are we going to do over here? And we should go to downtown. What is that place called? ISKCON? There was ISKCON. So they wanted to, Western devotees, they wanted to establish the center in ISKCON, in that side in Bombay downtown area. Prabhupada said, this. So this is the vision of the pure devotee, and in a manifested magnificent temple. Actually, the Prabhupada was coming from Los Angeles, and with his servant, I believe it was Surti Kirti Prabhu. So he was coming, and they wanted to give him, they wanted to give Prabhupada a surprise. So they bought that 55th Street and 5th Avenue Center. There was 11 or 12-story building, and also they mounted in front of the temple giant gold color letters, Hare Krishna. So when Srila Prabhupada came and he saw it was a giant building, he was really surprised. So he saw it was written Hare Krishna. He said, that's a great job. That do not sell this temple at any cost, because people from Manhattan is nothing else but the heart of the world, not only New York but heart of the world. Many people, visitors, they visit from around the world. If they come, simply see Hare Krishna, they will be preached automatically. So do not sell this temple. So when Srila Prabhupada went inside, and they made him sit on a giant Vyasasana. Still that Vyasasana is in Brooklyn downtown temple. That temple is also big, quite big. So he sat and he was very emotional. And he was very emotional, and he nodded his head, Srila Prabhupada, and then he said, emotionally he said, once upon a time I was walking around here in this downtown Manhattan like a barking dog. I didn't have anything. I didn't have anything in access. But Krishna gave Navastami Prasad, beautiful palace. That is Sri Radha Govinda Dev's temple. And Krishna is the master of mystic. He could do anything and everything. He could give anything and everything. So he gave that beautiful temple. So he mentioned strictly, do not sell this place. If everybody will go, but still this temple will preach to the people. And he was very emotional. Champion of an uncommon achievement. Wow. There was one gentleman came and asked Srila Prabhupada, why you have come to this to Western world? This is apart from the press reporter who asked, you are talking about press reporter in England. She said, why you have come to our country? Then Prabhupada said, you brought everything from our country, but you left that which you left, which is priceless gift, and I came to give that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Champion of an uncommon achievement. You see his achievement. So many centers around the world by following his instructions. I think it is 850 centers, including farm, Gurukul school, your Eco Village is one of the unique project, and we have in Talasari like that. If you guys happen to go to Western world, you will see New Vrindavan farming community. There are so many farming communities are there. Even while I was traveling in America, the cross country, I saw one Prabhupada's disciple. He left, and the midst of the Nebraska. His father is a big, about 10,000 acres of land his father owns, and when the son became Hare Krishna, so he gave 100 acres land to his son. I'm giving you in charity. Just you take it and do whatever you like. You maintain your life. So what he did, just he built a mud hut, and then within this mud hut, just he started living, and then he put another kutia just where, and he made the field very nice, grassy, and then he put Panchatattva picture, and he started preaching. And one house is 30 miles away, other one is 25 miles away. In distance, people are staying. Just there was no. It's not like India. Just one house with another together. So he cultivated that 100 acres land, and he had many produce, and many crops came, and he started cooking and preaching over there by Prabhupada's mercy. And when devotees, people started coming, and they came, and then they started joining the kirtan, and then after kirtan there was a prasadam, and they loved the vegetarian food, and then that was prasadam. And then just in this way, Srila Prabhupada's potency is there, it was extended. I mean, by the order of Srila Prabhupada, just he built by himself, and he started preaching in midst of Nebraska where there is no civilization even. So, founder of a worldwide movement, and therefore he became founder of the entire world, ISKCON world. And wherever we go, just we hear the glories of Srila Prabhupada. A world-renowned spiritual exponent. His books are accepted in the big universities like Srila Prabhupada's books were accepted, wholeheartedly accepted in big universities like Harvard, Yale, Princeton, Columbia, etc., just Ivy League schools and more universities around the world. In fact, there is one devotee, just he was doing a library party here in India, and he wants to come. That is Abhinanda Prabhu. He wants to start again, just in this age. He wants to start. He said, I want to come and talk to Brajahari Prabhu to start again the library party to distribute the books. So, you see, still Prabhupada departed 14 November 1977, but his still his potency is there to spread Krishna consciousness. I think I want to read a little bit, just my time is getting up. From he built, I will build a temple for you. Basically, Giriraj Swami was he came to this property in 1972, and he remained here, and he was one of the key persons. He was mastermind behind this project, and he was pretty young, and Srila Prabhupada gave him big responsibility, and he started doing various types of fundraising, pandal program, and life membership, etc. And when I came to the movement, still it was 1,111 rupees, the life membership. Giriraj Swami was going with a simple flip-flap, and sometimes he was following. The moment he saw just the ambassador car, so he was following the car and he was going to his gate, and then before this security closed door, and he was getting in just to make member. Simple flip-flap. And one time just his chappal, which is that is what called chappal. So that simple chappal or flip-flap, it broke. So he went to before making the life member, he went to the one gentleman's house with barefoot. So Giriraj Swami has worked very hard in this project, and he became the first temple president of this temple, like our ideal president, Srimad Brajahari Prabhu. Making someone a life member was practically as good as making him a devotee. In fact, I would say, there's one devotee, Prabhupada's disciple, he wrote, Indian culture is called Vedic culture. Even if you see Mayavadis, impersonalists, voidists, Shunyavadis, they are also Vedic culture, within Vedic culture. Western culture is zero. There is no such thing called culture in Western world. An American devotee wrote, because there is a famous cardiovascular doctor, he wrote, what is this going on? And there are deviation is going on in this, deviation is going on, within this movement. There are people, even despite Srila Prabhupada has given so many strict instructions, but still they want to deviate from that. They want to do other than Srila Prabhupada, they want to do something. But so why that something which is not included in Vedic culture, which is not accepted in Vedic culture, why they have to do? It is all happening in the West. So Prabhupada has given specific instruction that no, this cannot be implemented. So, but still they are trying to implement. They have implemented already. So, so the Vedic culture is Indian culture. Even those who are telling Hindu, they are Hindu, but they are also included within the Vedic culture. That's what another devotee, Prabhupada disciple, forcefully wrote. In Western world, there is no such thing called culture. So he is saying here, making someone a life member was practically as good as making a devotee. Actually, there are many life members over here. They are devotees. They have paid starting from 1,111 to now 35,555. But they not only became life member, but also they become devotees. They are chanting. Many of them in India, many parts of India. I have seen that. In fact, I met some people said, I'm your life member. But Swamiji, I don't chant 16 rounds. But when I started leading Kirtan in Mathura, this American devotee in Mathura train station, this American devotees became fired up. One was playing harmonium, the other one was playing the drum. It was not like real drum, we have mridanga, but it was like kind of drum. He started playing, I was leading Kirtan. And then everybody started chanting. I said, why you are chanting Hare Krishna? You are a common Hindu. He said, this is our dharma. This is our dharma. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The more care and affection we gave the life members, the more they would reciprocate and want to support our cause. Actually, you think just now, you people gave from your pocket the money, the wood, heaven and earth is built. There are devotees like stalwarts like Devakinandan Prabhu, Brajahari Prabhu, Surdas Prabhu, and many other devotees. They went out of their ways to collect money for heaven and earth. Especially Devakinandan Prabhu, so much Lakshmi he brought in specific for heaven and earth. So they will support us if we try to. In fact, the American philosophy is just, you write one, you get one. You reciprocate one, you get reciprocation. So, Prabhupada says also same way, if you love me, I will love you. If you don't love me, how can I love you? So we have to give our love and affection. We reciprocate with the life members, and they will become real life member. Therefore, when I was in Washington DC, I invited Dr. Bali and Baijanti Mala. So Dr. Bali, his son was this big, now he's a big dentist. And Baijanti Mala said, I didn't come as a dancer, I didn't come as a life member, I didn't come as an actor, but I came as a devotee. And his Dr. Bali said, do not become dead member, but become life member. So this is what Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Even common people, they started teaching Prabhupada's teachings. And the more they engage in devotional service, the more they enhance their spiritual lives. So the more we include them within our family, the more they will become devotee gradually. Slowly, but gradually. Association makes one good or bad. If we are in bad association, we become bad. And if we are in good association, we become good. So therefore, when we give our association to the life members, they will become nice devotees. 16 rounds chanter and 4 regulative principle followers. So thank you very much. I will stop here. I think devotees started becoming impatient. If there is any question. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Puji. Thank you so much, Puji, for enlightening us by Prabhupada important pastimes. So I just wanted to know when Prabhupada Leela work was started and when it was come to complete.
When it was started in 1979. Started in 1979, it was finished in 1985, 86. Like that. In fact, just it continued after that also. This 7-volume Leelamrita, when it was finished, but still there a mountain of work was there, so Sasra Maharaj wrote the additional book, quite a few volumes called Prabhupada Leela. Then just he also wrote a small red books called Prabhupada. So in those small books he gave, for example, just Brahmananda was preaching, Swami was preaching. At that time he was Swami. So he was preaching in Africa. And then devotees said, just Prabhupada, what Brahmananda Swami is doing in Africa? So Prabhupada made a joke, it's because he's a white Negro, so therefore he's trying to preach in Africa. However, devotees wanted him to come back because he stayed a long time over there. So even after 1985, just it continued, still continued. And constantly Satru Maharaj, every day he's writing, constant writing.
Thank you so much.
Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Please recommend the book to understand management principle, mission and vision of AC Bhaktivedanta Prabhuji. Recommend the book. I would like to go through it.
Okay.
So that we can understand his great management, great vision and mission.
Fine. So they have opened a GBC college. You correspond with the devotees and GBC college. And they are giving the management training, lower and higher. Even up to GBC level training is there. So that you can, within infrastructure, you can become part of it. You can become also manager or whatever you want to become, or assistant manager or temple president or GBC. You can go up to that, and then so that is a GBC college. You go over there and you contact them, and then in this way you can continue. And I don't think so anything, Maharaj. I don't think anything within the temple they are giving training just how to become a manager. But that's the reason they have opened the GBC college.
We can get the Prabhupada instructions on the management, everything what he asked in the Prabhupada Chamrita. That 4 volumes, first time BBD published.
Yes.
After that they are not publishing now. But but folio you will get it. Prabhupada Chamrita.
Right. So that's because they are not publishing, it's because they wanted to start an institution. So exclusively they kept in one place now. I saw in the Western world they have some training, those who cannot come to India only. But actually core training just they started here. Here in India in that, what is that farm? Wada. In Wada they have that Vedic GBC college is there. Am I correct, Maharaj? Yeah. Anything else? Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita ki, Shri Shri Radha Rasbihari ji ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Krishna.